The sun dipped low over the quiet suburban neighborhood, casting long shadows across the empty park. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves, but the usual sounds of children's laughter were absent except for one small figure. A little girl, no older than 8, sat cross-legged beneath a tree, her backpack beside her and a loyal German shepherd resting at her feet. She looked peaceful, lost in her own world. The silence broke as the distant rumble of engines echoed through the streets. Four bikers, clad in black leather and roaring down the road, veered off and slowly pulled up near the park entrance. Their presence was imposing, helmets hiding their expressions, tattoos snaking down their arms. They exchanged glances and chuckled darkly, spotting the girl sitting alone. Their boots crunched on gravel as they approached, their steps slow and deliberate, as if testing the waters. One whistled mockingly. Another laughed under his breath. The girl looked up, innocent eyes meeting theirs, but she didn't flinch. Her hand reached down calmly to her dog's collar. The bikers had no idea what they were walking into. They saw a child and her pet. What they didn't see was a trained canine, waiting for the signal. The bikers drew closer, their heavy boots thudding against the ground, echoing in the eerie stillness of the park. The little girl remained seated, her small hands gripping the straps of her backpack. Her eyes, wide and unblinking, followed their every move. She looked fragile, just a child with no adult in sight. The tallest of the men smirked, tilting his head as he muttered something to the others. They fanned out, circling her like wolves closing in on prey. One of them crouched, mockingly soft in his approach. "Hey there, sweetheart," he said with a sneer. "You all alone out here?" The girl didn't answer. Her breathing quickened, her fingers tightening slightly on her dog's collar. The German shepherd tensed, ears flicking back, eyes locked on the strangers. Another biker stepped forward, more aggressive now. "You lost, kid? Or just waitin' for someone to save you?" The girl swallowed hard. Her body trembled slightly, not from fear, but anticipation. To the bikers, she looked like a helpless target. They chuckled, unaware of the growing storm at their feet. The tension in the air thickened. A single word or move could tip the balance. And the girl, still calm despite it all, was waiting for that moment. As the bikers inched closer, the girl's dog suddenly rose to its feet with silent precision. The German shepherd's stance shifted in an instant, ears erect, body rigid, and eyes narrowed with laser focus. Without a sound, it stepped in front of the girl, blocking her completely from view. Its presence was no longer that of a calm companion, but a guardian ready for war. The lead biker paused mid-step, his mocking smirk fading. "Whoa," he muttered, holding out a hand to the others. "That dog don't look normal." The shepherd let out a low, guttural growl, deep, threatening, and unmistakably controlled. Not wild or panicked, but purposeful. It was a sound that sent a chill through the air. The girl's hand remained lightly on the dog's back, steadying herself. She didn't cry, didn't scream. She didn't have to. Her protector was already reading the danger, responding with instinct and training far beyond a typical pet. The bikers exchanged glances. This wasn't what they expected. What looked like a harmless girl and her dog had suddenly become a defensive line they weren't prepared to cross. Loyal to the core, the dog stood its ground, ready to face any threat, no matter the size. The tension snapped like a wire as one of the bikers made the mistake of lunging forward, perhaps thinking a shove would scatter the girl and her dog. But in a blur of motion, the German shepherd launched into action, no hesitation, no barking, just clean, calculated force. The dog hit the man square in the chest, knocking him backward with shocking power. Before he could react, the shepherd had pinned him to the ground, jaws locked just inches from his throat, a deep growl vibrating in its chest. The other bikers froze, their cocky smirks replaced with wide-eyed disbelief. "This ain't no regular mutt," one of them muttered, backing up slowly. The dog didn't chase. It didn't act out of panic or rage. Instead, it returned to the girl's side with the same military precision it had shown seconds before, head high, body alert, eyes never leaving the threat. The pinned biker scrambled away, clutching his arm and cursing under his breath. The others started retreating, mumbling excuses, trying to save face. But the damage was done. Their bravado had been shattered by a force they didn't understand. That harmless pet had revealed itself to be a trained canine, a guardian shaped by discipline, not just instinct. As the bikers tried to regroup, the German Shepherd remained poised, its eyes tracking every move. One of the men reached for something, maybe a chain, maybe a weapon, but the dog reacted instantly, leaping forward with flawless timing. It disarmed him in seconds, knocking the object away and forcing the man to the ground with a commanding snarl. The others hesitated, unsure whether to fight or flee, their earlier confidence completely dissolved. The girl didn't move, didn't run, she knew her dog had control. Trained not to kill, but to protect, the canine delivered precision takedowns, keeping the attackers on the ground without causing lethal harm. It barked sharply, a warning, a signal, and in the distance, sirens began to wail. Blue and red lights flashed against the trees moments later as two patrol cars pulled up. Officers jumped out, guns drawn, but quickly lowered them at the sight of the shepherd holding its position like a seasoned officer. The girl stood slowly, placing a gentle hand on the dog's back. It immediately relaxed, stepping aside as if understanding that its job was done. The bikers, bruised and shaken, were handcuffed and led away. Justice had come swiftly, and from the last place they expected. As the last of the bikers was led away in handcuffs, a small crowd began to gather, neighbors who had heard the commotion or seen the flashing lights. They stood silently at first, their eyes darting between the little girl and the dog standing proudly at her side. Whispers filled the air. "That dog took them down like a pro. Did you see how it moved? Like something out of a movie." Even the officers, seasoned and hardened by years on the job, exchanged glances of surprise and admiration. One knelt down beside the girl, speaking gently. "Is he yours?" She nodded, stroking the shepherd's head. "He's trained. My dad used to be canine. He taught him everything." The officer smiled, clearly impressed. "He did a damn good job." The bikers, now slumped in the back of the squad cars, stared out the windows, no longer defiant, but stunned. Their arrogance had been replaced by something they hadn't felt in a long time: humility. They had underestimated a child, and her protector. As the crowd slowly dispersed, the dog sat tall, alert but calm. The little girl reached into her backpack, pulled out a small treat, and gave it to her companion with a smile. The hero didn't need a cape, just loyalty, discipline, and heart.